When Kiara Sky first released their cover jelly tips, I got super excited and I bought two different colors. So I did Amore and this one is Vanilla Sky. I ended up doing a video trying on the Amore tips, which I fell in love with, but I thought it was finally time I tried these Vanilla Sky ones. Initially, I thought they were probably like too peachy for my skin tone, but you never know, so I decided to try them and see if I liked them better on. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how I apply these Kiara Sky cover jelly tips as well as do some nail polish application. So if you want to see my process, stick around and we'll get into it. I went ahead and sized out all my tips, so I have them laid out on the palette, and I'm going to be using my West Coast Dips Super Stick Gel to apply the tips. The West Coast Dips Super Stick is my absolute favorite in applying jelly tips. I just have the easiest time with it because it's not so thin that it's runny, but it's not so thick that it's hard to move. It's like that perfect balance for me and my absolute favorite. So jumping straight in, I'm applying some of the Super Stick to the inside of my tips. I went ahead and etched them as well. So I'm just kind of applying a little bit to where it's going to cover my natural nail, putting the most amount at my cuticle line. And sorry, I go in and out of frame. I don't know why it's so hard for me when I'm doing my tip application. So to apply the tips, I'm going to start at my cuticle line and I'm just going to gently place the tip down at my cuticle line and start pressing downwards towards my free edge, and that way the gel is flowing downwards so I don't flood my cuticle. And I like that I can let go of the tip and it'll stay put with this super stick. So I just want to make sure that it's straight, and then once I kind of am happy with the way it's placed, I'm going to go ahead and give it a flash cure for 10 seconds. I'm just doing a flash cure with my Vivid Glam Co flash cure lamp, but it isn't a strong wattage, so I always want to make sure that after I'm done with all my nails, I give them a full cure in my big lamp for 60 seconds. But the flash cure is just to make sure that the tips don't move on me as I'm working on my other nails. I will also say that even though these are colored tips, I do get a full cure of the gel underneath because they are sheer enough. So obviously if these tips were too opaque, the light probably wouldn't be able to penetrate it and I'd have to worry about uncured gel underneath. But I like these tips because you do get that little bit of color, but they are sheer enough to where the light can get through and fully cure that gel. So no worries about uncured gel underneath your tips with these. Once I fully cure my nails in my 48 watt UV LED lamp, I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of cleanup. So I've got my small Mandrel Bit from Kiara Sky, and I'm going to put my efile at about a 6,000 RPM, and I'm just going to go around the sidewall and cuticle just in case there's any spillage. So I'm also going to blend in a little bit so that it's a little more seamless at the cuticle line, as well as with this Mandrel Bit, I'm just going to graze it over the surface of the tips just to remove that shine, because I want to remove the shine because I am going to apply some nail polish on top of it, and I want to make sure that I get good adhesion of the nail polish and it doesn't peel off. Now, I don't typically use nail polish, so I'm not sure whether or not it would peel off. I know gel polish would. I don't know about nail polish, but I figured I'd rather be safe than sorry, which is why I'm removing the shine using my Mandrel Bit. If you know whether or not I actually do or don't need to remove the shine on the tips, let me know down below so that I know for next time whether I need to do this step or not. Not that it takes a really long time. It's super quick using the efile. I'm just curious on whether it was an unnecessary step or not, because I will actually be using a nail polish base coat as well. Orly sent me the Spice It Up collection as PR, and I thought these were the perfect colors for a fall mani. They are just so beautiful, and I couldn't wait to use them. Let me show you all the colors, and then we'll get into application. Even though these are one-step polishes, which means you don't need a base coat or top coat, I went ahead and decided to apply a base coat anyway. So I'm using the Orly Bonder base coat, and I'm just applying a thin layer of that to all my nails. And I have to say, I really appreciate how quick drying this base coat is. The one thing I don't like about regular nail polish is how long it takes to dry. I just don't have the patience for that. So this one dried super quickly, which I really appreciate. Before I got into dip powder nails, I used to do my nails at home with regular nail polish all the time, but I was really bad and I never really used base coat first. I would just go in with my nail polish. I would sometimes top coat, sometimes I wouldn't, and I used to always complain because nail polish would always chip on me, and of course I hated the dry time of nail polish. But so once I got into dip powder, I never really looked back. So I got into dip powder, and then I got introduced to gel polishes, but now I know nail polish is bigger, so I'm starting to circle back around and start trying to get used to using regular nail polish again. So I don't know, let me know your thoughts down below on how you feel about nail polish. While I'm still not super thrilled about the dry time of a regular nail polish, I have to say these Orly polishes were super easy to use, especially because I feel like a beginner again, just because it's been so many years since I've used regular nail polish. But I mean, just look at this. This is one coat and it is such great coverage. It just kind of glides on, and I don't know if it's the one-step formula. I don't know if it helped that I applied the base coat first, but it was just so easy. I mean, I do end up doing 2 coats of the color just for consistency's sake, but I'd say it's really good coverage with that 1 coat even. So I was super happy with trying to use these polishes, and I was also trying to be really intentional and careful about not getting nail polish on my skin. But there are some times where I do get a little bit of spillage, and I'll show you how I clean that up as well. I used to be super messy with my application. I would get the polish all over my skin, and I got to the point of where it just didn't matter. Like, I would just paint my skin, and then once my nail polish was fully dry, I would just scrub it off in the shower or soak my hands in some warm water and then just kind of peel off the polish from my skin. But I think, getting into dip powder nails, gel polish nails. Obviously for my dip base, I don't want that on my skin because that's going to cause lifting. And then for gel polish, I definitely don't want gel polish on my skin because I don't want to cause an allergy. So that caused me to, I guess, take my time more, be a little more intentional, and try to make sure that I've got a clean application of the color. I'm showing you real time so you can see just how easy the application of these polishes are. Now I do get a little bit of spillage at my cuticle line, but we'll clean that up before the polish dries. I just want to finish this first coat. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a cleanup brush and a little bit of acetone, which you can't see my acetone bottle off to the side, but I'm just dipping the brush in a little bit of acetone, and I'm just cleaning up around the cuticle area, sidewalls, making sure that I don't have any polish on my skin. And it's that quick and easy, and it's a lot easier to do while your polish is still wet. Once I finish my 2 coats of polish, I'm going to go ahead and top coat my nails that have no fig deal on them because those are already done. So this is the Mooncat Speed Demon top coat. I believe that's what it's called. It's a fast drying top coat, and because I don't have the Orly top coat, and I really don't need a top coat with these polishes because they are 1 step, but I wanted them to dry a little bit quicker, which is why I'm using my Mooncat Speed Demon top coat. I mean, the nails are shiny anyway without the top coat, but this top coat is even shinier and so beautiful. I'm going to do some plaid nail art on my green nails, so I'm just taking some of that brown polish and I'm adding just a little dot of that to my resin palette. This is the one I get from Resonating Crafts. RVA, and because it's a regular nail polish, it's going to air dry, so I can't do all my colors at one time like I can with gel polish because I want to make sure that the polish isn't drying on my palette. So I'm taking my Beetles line art brush. I get this set from Amazon. I'll leave the link for these down below in the description. So I just ran the long liner brush through that polish, and now I'm drawing a line vertically down my nail off to the left of my nail. So once I have that line down, it's okay if it's not perfectly straight. I want it a little bit thicker, so I'm just going to slowly start to widen it by just drawing the line out a little bit more just until I get the thickness that I want. Now I do have to move a little bit quicker when I'm doing this because I want to do it before my polish dries on me. And while I don't like the dry time of regular polish, I do think these 1 steps are a little bit quicker than some of the other polishes that I've used in the past when I used to do my own nails. So once I'm happy with the thickness of that wider line, I'm going to also draw near the bottom free edge of my nail a little horizontal line across from it. It's not going to be as thick as my vertical line, but it is going to be a little bit thicker. The thing I like about doing plaid nails is there's just not one certain way to do it. It's kind of however you want it to look. So I'm not really going off any inspiration pick. I've done plaid nails a couple of times. I've seen a lot of plaid nail pictures. So I kind of know around how I want it to look. So I'm just kind of freehanding how I want it to look. I don't really have like a set idea in mind. I'm just kind of thinking about like all the plaid designs I've seen and just kind of taking that as a little guideline for what I'm doing. I cleaned off my brush with a little bit of acetone, so now I'm taking the same liner brush and I'm dipping it into that orange color, and I'm going to draw a thin straight line vertically down my nail on the other side of my nail. And I don't want it as thick as the line I did on my left side of my nail, so I'm just going to make it a thin line, but I'm going to go over it a couple times, but just because I want to make sure that you can see the color really well, because the green background is a little bit darker, so I want to make sure that you can see the colors. If you're like me and you have a hard time drawing straight lines, the longer the liner brush you use, the easier it is, which at first for me, it seemed kind of counterintuitive. Like I always wanted to use shorter brushes and do like little strokes at a time to get a straight line. But I've actually found that the longer liner brush I use, I could just kind of drag it down and it actually makes for straighter lines. For the yellow polish, I'm using a short liner brush and I'm just creating little dashes underneath that horizontal brown line that I have. And I'm kind of making it look like maybe seams of the plaid nail. So I'm just making sure I have enough polish and I'm creating those little seams along that line underneath it. Once I finished my plaid, I still felt like there was just a little something missing. So I remembered I had these 3D sunflower stickers. I got this sheet from my Concealed Chaos box from Chaos Concepts, and sunflowers are my absolutely favorite flowers. So I was super excited to use these stickers, and I feel like they kind of tied the whole look together. So I used my nail art tweezers to peel off the sticker from the sheet, and I'm just going to figure out where I want to place it. And then the other end of these tweezers are a little silicone end, so I can use that to push down the stickers, and that way I'm not messing up my nail art using my fingers, maybe getting some fingerprints in. So I'm just making sure that I'm pressing down the sticker once I know I have it where I want it. And I'm going to do the same thing for my middle nail as well. I'm going to do, I think I choose the butterfly instead of another sunflower. There's these little cute butterflies that are on the sheet. So I'm going to apply that as well on my nail, and it's just going to tie the plaid look together. As always, I'm going to finish off my mani by rehydrating my cuticles. So I'm using my Skills of Mermaid Cuticle Balm. This is in the scent Pumpkin Spice It Up. And I am a huge pumpkin spice fan, and I love the smell of this one. It's just got that great spicy pumpkin scent to it, and it just smells so good, and it's so hydrating, especially when it gets a little bit colder, when my skin gets drier. I love using the balms. And I do have an ambassador code. You can use code Genie10 to save 10% off your orders at Scales of a Mermaid. So here we are with the finished look. What do you think? It's been quite a while since I've actually worn medium length nails. I've been loving my short nails lately, so this actually felt a little bit weird, but I actually really love the Kiara Sky cover tips. I just think they wear really well. They're a beautiful shape. They're easy to use. I know you can't see it because I applied polish on top, because I wasn't really, I don't know, I just don't think the Vanilla Sky color is the right color for my skin tone, even though they are so beautiful. So I hope you enjoyed this different content doing nail polish. If you enjoyed it, if you found it helpful at all, please feel free to give this video a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue creating content like this, and it also helps YouTube recommend me to others, which helps grow my channel. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I upload content every Monday and Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.